but this isn't out of bounds. This is charity stripe commentary. So the reason I said Wisconsin and not Green Bay is because after the cheap shot from Grayson Allen on Alex Caruso, and then the Milwaukee Bucks Twitter feed posting a picture of him eating a donut the next morning saying good morning, just, putting salt in the wounds. It's come out that Alex Caruso is going to have to miss 6 to 8 weeks with, I think, a slight fracture in the wrist. That's on top of Lonzo Ball getting ready to miss 6 to 8 weeks. Patrick Williams earlier in the year was injured on another flagrant foul that was a similar situation, a guy coming over from the side and challenging a shot. And so, what goes around comes around, Wisconsin. So that's where I'm at with that one.
Oh, absolutely. And, I didn't see the game. I saw you sent me the clip after I watched it. I thought it was an absolutely atrocious foul from Grayson Allen. 6 to 8 weeks is pretty lucky for Caruso. I'm glad it was that. I thought it was going to be much worse. Like, he almost got a concussion, I think. But Grayson Allen, this is just par for the course for Grayson Allen, to be honest. I am a Duke fan. I'm from probably since 89 is when I remember watching Duke, and the early 90s Duke, that was, you had Christian Laettner, but aside from that, it was pretty, there weren't dirty players or anything like that. I wouldn't even call Christian Laettner a dirty player. It was just nobody liked him because he was so arrogant, is the best way I can put it. But Grayson Allen, if you look at his college career, Coach K is the reason he's still such a dirty player, because Coach K had an ability to do something and chose not to. In his freshman year, he was little known, basically helped Duke win the championship. But then in his sophomore year, he had 2 tripping incidences against Louisville and Florida State. In the second game against Louisville, exchanged elbows, got tossed from the game. After the FSU one, he was quote unquote reprimanded by the ACC, which meant nothing. Then in his junior year, he talks about he's putting the past behind him, no more tripping, yada, yada, yada. Then Duke's playing Elon, small school, they beat all the time, and he trips a player. For no reason. It's not like Elon was beating Duke or anything, just trips him. Coach K.
It's his DNA.
Yeah.
Coach K is an enabler, and it's his DNA. That's where you're going. I hear it in your voice.
He suspended him indefinitely, stripped him of his captaincy, and in all, Grayson Allen missed one game. It was against Gardner Webb or something like that, some terrible team. And then in his senior year,
a real high stakes game, he had to sit out.
Yeah. And then in his senior year, again, putting the past behind him, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a dirty player. In the ACC tournament, he hip checks Garrison Brooks. And if you watch the replay, it's a hockey hip check. He sticks his ass out as Garrison Brooks is running past and hip checks him on purpose. And he got a technical one. And honestly, he should have been kicked out. The fact that Coach K never did anything proves that he hasn't been a leader of men in a while. If you look at all the players since 2010, even 2010, you had Lance Thomas getting the free tattoos and all of that, doing all the stuff that people don't think about.
Here, I thought you were just going to call him an enabler. I thought you were going to come at shots with Coach K with a pistol. Instead, you've gotten out the shotgun, and you're he's not a leader of men. That's quite the charge from a Dookie homer.
Honestly, ever since he started the one and done game, it's been I don't recognize him at all. It's the players that come out, there's nothing really special about them. You've got Jason Tatum doing his thing in Boston, not being a team player. I grew up on the Chris Duhons, the Jay Wills, Elton Brand, Trajan Langdon, Grant Hill, Bobby Hurley. Those are the players that didn't really do crazy well in the NBA, but they had careers. They weren't dirty.
You mentioned this was textbook for Grayson Allen. It was a hard foul, but he followed through with both hands. And when he catches him with that second hand and kind of pushes him, and that's kind of what makes Caruso tilt, because he goes in with the intent to hit this guy, and I'm going to knock him on his ass. the real Grayson Allen part for me was whenever he laughed after. It was just like, of course he's gonna laugh. That's what he's gonna do.